welcome to the overview of MindTap for Communication in Our Lives by Julia Wood, 8th edition. As you can see, I've actually started this presentation in Chapter 16, Persuasive Speaking, because I really want to make sure that I go over all of the aspects with creating a speech, from the outline and conception of doing the research all the way to actually presenting it. As you can see, this is just kind of a snapshot of what the Chapter 6 learning path looks like. Chapter 16 has a polling question that starts the conversation of what the students can kind of start wrapping their mind around when it comes to persuasive speaking. Right here is the e-text. This mirrors the printed text. It has the ability to read speak, meaning it'll read the book out loud to them, as well as they can highlight, take notes, and they can actually look words up right from the textbook. They can click and drag and highlight the word, and Webster's Dictionary pops up to let them know exactly what that word means, because as we go through rhetoric, oftentimes students come across a word that they may be familiar with, but they're not exactly sure how it's being used in that context, and so it's really important for students to be able to look it up right then and there. Right here you can see it's a case study. This is a video of a speech that is kind of probably what you're looking for. It's more of an example of an end product, and then a quick quiz. Now here is the prepare, practice, and present. So this is the functionality I really want to go over today. This prepare is exactly what it looks like. You are creating that outline so that the students can really start getting into the meat of what you're asking them. So I'm going to go ahead and click in here. And right here, as you can see, it says topic generation. So before they can even begin, it's kind of that, they have to start thinking about what they want to persuade their audience to think about. So right here are some brainstorming questions, and we do this because it really helps the students focus in and make sure that their topics aren't too broad. So for an example, what social or cultural issue are you passionate about? So it really tries to get them to think about something that they themselves are interested in, because as you know, when you are doing, when you're presenting a persuasive speech, oftentimes if it's something that you're already passionate about, you're more likely to be able to persuade your audience whichever way you're directing them. Also, if you scroll down here, we also have some check-in questions, such as, is your topic specific enough? Like I was saying, oftentimes, they can come up with this really big kind of general topic, but they really need to be kind of narrowing it down, because they don't have a half an hour oftentimes to convince the entire class. What they have usually is between 5 and 10 minutes. So we really want to make sure that they're getting to the heart of it. So this brainstorming is really more of a directional tool. Right here is the research. So this is really making sure that the students are citing their resources accurately. As you know, oftentimes this is a class that students are taking within their first year or two of school, and oftentimes this tool right here actually helps guide them no matter what their major is if they're not a comm major, because research papers are such a large part of college life, and so making sure that they're really citing their resources correctly really sets them up to be successful no matter what their major is. Now, again, there's some guiding questions right here just to make sure that they're on path, such as, are these sources credible? You want to make sure it's not just a wiki link. And then down here is where the actual outline takes place. And so they can actually, after they've created this outline, they can print it. So as soon as they're completed, this is actually in MindTap. It saves that data for them. But oftentimes students like to print it, to review it, or I know at times professors like to see a tangible outline. This is a great way for them to be able to do that. And then they can also print note cards. So from the outline, note cards can be generated, or you can create them, and then you can go ahead and print them, or just preview them right here. So this is a one-stop shop for students to really understand exactly how to go from concept to a finished product. Now, right here, you're going to go back into that learning path, and we're going to go over how you practice. Now, when you practice a persuasive speech, you need a safe environment that isn't possibly YouTube, that they don't want it to maybe live there forever. They just want something that they can post up and either have you review or a couple of peers review to give them some feedback before the final presentation. And this is a really safe, secure place for them to be able to do that. This is the instructions of what the assignment is, but if they click this little plus arrow, they can actually watch a video right here that we've embedded that actually walks them through exactly what they need to be clicking. Now, I don't know about you, but this is actually kind of small, so you can click right here to make it bigger. As you can see, it's got closed captioning. You can indeed turn that off if you'd like. You can click right here. I prefer to have it on. You can also change the volume. So this really gives the students a really clear idea of exactly where they need to be clicking, exactly how they need to be doing it, and exactly what kind of files that this system takes. It takes your very generic. Students can actually use their iPhone, they can use their computer. Your very standard materials are actually used here. So this is how you practice. And of course, as we know, practice makes perfect. And the more students practice, the better they are. And we've noticed that when students actually use this, they get somewhat competitive with themselves. And so what they'll do is they'll actually watch it over and over again and re-record to practice to make sure that they're not touching their face, they're not flipping their hair, they're not saying ums, they're not using idioms, they're making sure they're on point, and that their nonverbal communication is not distracting. If you also like to have them present their final presentation in video form, again, they can also do that here with the present. They can actually record it same way with their phone, with their computer, with a video camera, and they can upload it right here. And you can actually create small groups within the system to have peer review, or you can have everybody peer review. And when they review, it's actually asynchronous. So they're able to stop it at, say, 1 minute and 2 seconds and say, you know, you touched your face, or you've lost me here, or that's a really great point. So that while they're looking at that feedback later on, they can get really solid feedback and improve. Again, they have this click how to, and they watch the video on how to upload it. So these are just a couple of quick how you create your outline, how you upload a speech. Another thing is we really like to point out down here, if you click more, we, sorry, I clicked the Webster's Dictionary. If you click right here, this is the speech video library. And oftentimes students, because this is such a high anxiety course, they really want solid examples of what's being asked of them. And these are all vetted, student-centric examples, and these are by students. And as you can see right here, it says supporting materials. As I clicked right here, persuasive, the supporting materials for this particular example have a transcript, the outline, and the note cards. So it's really important for students to be able to see the outline with a specific speech and see that marriage so that they can really see how the students went from conception to final product. You can also assign these and you can put them directly in the learning path. If you'd like to learn more about that, please again reach out to me or reach out to your learning consultant. My email address is allison.mohadasi@cengage.com. That's ALLISON.MOGHADDASI, and I am happy to go over any of this with you in more detail. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation, and I hope you have a wonderful day.